We're going to guide you through the disturbing events that took place at our nation's capital.
It is shining this morning, Robin. What we saw yesterday is disturbing, unprecedented, simply un-American. From our first days, our democracy has been defined by the peaceful transfer of power. Yesterday, for the first time, something different. A mob, domestic terrorists, incited by the president, stormed the U.S. Capitol. That is the very symbol of our democracy. January 6, 2021, now one of those iconic days in American history for all the wrong reasons. There you see the rioters scaling the walls. They flooded the halls of the People's House. You see them taking it over right there. Members of Congress had to barricade themselves inside the House chamber. The Capitol Police, the Secret Service, drawing guns to protect them.
And somehow overnight, Congress, they managed to reconvene with lawmakers. They looked visibly shaken. They resumed counting the electoral votes, doing their job, showing that a mob would not halt the democratic process, confirming Joe Biden's victory in the presidential election.
The votes for President of the United States are as follows. Joseph R. Biden, Jr. of the state of Delaware has received 306 votes. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 232 votes.
And there we have it. Police making over 50 arrests and right now hunting down more members of the angry mob. And this before and after tells the story of just where we are. The Capitol 4 years ago on Inauguration Day and yesterday after it was desecrated. We have team coverage this morning. Mary Bruce starts us off. Good morning, Mary.
Michael, good morning. You know, for centuries, this country has relied on a peaceful transition of power. And yesterday we watched as this sacred tradition was broken, violently shattered in this hostile takeover. It was hard to watch and yet not hard to imagine after the president spent months refusing to commit to a peaceful handoff. And he and his allies spent the last few weeks falsely sowing doubt about the election. The president himself encouraging his supporters, seething over his loss to march on the Capitol, and then silently standing by. It was nothing short of a siege. Hordes of Trump supporters breaching barricades, storming the Capitol, as members of Congress inside worked to officially certify Joe Biden's victory.
Protesters are in the building.
Rioters quickly overwhelming police and overtaking the hallowed halls. Some in tactical gear, others waving Confederate flags, battering the door to the House floor.
They broke the glass.
Some members whisked away, while others sheltered in the chamber, diving under desks, instructed to have their gas masks at the ready as the chaplain prayed over them.
Peace in the land, peace in this country, peace in this world. What we're asking for, healing.
A line of officers holding back the intruders, guns drawn. In the Senate, one rioter reaching the podium, falsely declaring President Trump had won the election. While in House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's office, another intruder kicking back, his boots on the desk. Other offices left completely ransacked. Authorities struggling to stop the insurgents, taking almost 12 hours to completely clear them from the Capitol complex. Backup brought in from police forces in Virginia and Maryland, the FBI and ATF. Washington, D.C. declaring a state of emergency. But the president, sources say, initially rebuffed bringing in the National Guard. The self-proclaimed law and order president only relenting after aides talked him into it. The demonstrations turning fatal. At least 4 people have died, including one woman who was shot by police inside the Capitol. John Sullivan and Jade Sacker, documenting the riot, saw it all happen.
She was one person in a huge mass of people trying to break through these doors. There was very much this herd mentality centered around, like, let's just break through.
The second that she climbed through the window, she got shot and she died.
The mob's march on the Hill, incited by the president himself just moments before.
And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here we're going to walk down to the Capitol, because you'll never take back our country with weakness.
But as his supporters overtook the Capitol, Trump was nowhere to be found, silent as they seized the building. Members of his own party publicly pleading with Trump to end the anarchy and tell his supporters to retreat. More than 3 hours after the coup began, Trump eventually told them to back off, but it was half-hearted. In a brief video posted to social media, the president telling his followers to go home, but also heaping praise on them, saying, quote, "We love you, and you're very special." And Trump repeating his false claim that the election was stolen from him, seeming to justify their violent response. In his own remarks, a somber President-elect Joe Biden calling the invasion an assault on democracy and making it abundantly clear who he blamed for creating the chaos.
The words of a president matter, no matter how good or bad that president is. At their best, the words of a president can inspire. At their worst, they can incite.
Now, Biden also insisted that what Americans were witnessing is simply not what this country stands for, as he now faces the daunting task of trying to unite the country going forward. And this morning, we are seeing Democrats and Republicans coming together. Even some of those Republicans who for years have stood by Trump or silently condoned his behavior are now saying enough. That Trump fever seems to be breaking, but it is just astounding that it took a storming of the Capitol to reach this reckoning. George.
Mary Bruce, thanks very much. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.